What's up? It's Mike Adam. This is your Eye Opener Music Beat, and I am hanging out with my crazy girlfriend.
What's up? Hey.
So I was watching a bunch of videos, people interviewing you online, and Cosmo, I heard something interesting. You were living with Avicii for a little while?
No, that was Maya. But
oh, you were? How does that even happen?
Well, I was working on a couple of dance projects with Nick Terranova, who's Star Killers is his dance name. Okay. And he's like, oh, I found this kid from Sweden, and I'm going to fly him out to work on some stuff with us. And I was like, okay. Happened to be Avicii. And he came off the plane. The first thing he wanted to do was go get Pizza Hut. He's like super excited to get Pizza Hut. And we're like, okay. And now he could like buy a Pizza Hut, so...
A lot of them.
A couple.
Right. Yeah, we lived in the same house for like about, I'd say 6 months, like, because he was working on projects with us.
Okay.
And he's super sweet, super awesome. I'm so happy for him.
That's great. I feel like you still keep in touch with him. I mean, you lived with the guy.
Not really, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, we're like Facebook friends, but he's like super busy, so.
That's great.
know,
Right, seriously. So we were talking a little bit before we got on camera. You guys have done a lot of work with other artists, producing and writing. You know, Bruno Mars, Kesha, Britney Spears. What would you say the project you're most proud of is, of somebody else's that you worked on?
I was going to be like, my crazy girlfriend.
I would say for my brother and I mean, it wasn't like a massive record at all. Probably working with Bruno like the Bruno that he is today, just to see like, well, first of all, how possible it is when you see like, especially being artists, when you see your friends and people you work with start to like really accomplish something that may have seemed like an elusive dream somewhere.
Oh, it's real.
It's real. Yeah. It's like actually possible, you know? It's not just like on TV and you see them literally go from saying, hey man, can you like spot me for lunch today, to like being a millionaire. It's like, that's probably the most gratifying
and
thing.
We all went to the iHeart Festival last year and saw him live.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I've ever seen him live.
Since we performed together at like little Christmas parties and no one cared. And
like literally had chills just seeing like how possible it is and what just having a dream could take you to.
Before we wrap up, I want to know what's the craziest party you guys have ever been to? It doesn't have to be now. It could have been in like middle school, but it seems like you guys know how to get it in. So I mean, what's the best party? I want some like, you ever see that movie Project X?
We've had a few of those. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I threw a party when my dad was away when I was 16. Actually, like it got me into music because of this party. I wrote my first song because of this party. So I invited 5-6 people, ended up being 200 people.
Oh my God.
The cops came. Okay, rewind. They brought a keg to the bathtub. There were seriously people lined up everywhere. I didn't know anybody. There were like 20-year-olds showing up. I'm 16. It was awesome. And the cops came, arrested me. Well, first I hid from them. They found me, arrested me. I took my hands out of the handcuffs, like what? And then I like trip on something. The ambulance came, and that was probably the most. And I got cheated on at the party. So I got kicked out of my house because of this party and wrote my first song because of this party.
Wow. So as part 2 to that question, and then I promise we're wrapping up. The weirdest place you've ever thrown up?
Ooh, that's an amazing question.
Okay. No.
Okay, he has to say, but like say it like it actually happened.
Yeah. I think this was our 21st birthday.
Second.
Yeah, and we all went to, it was us, a bunch of friends, and we are staying across the street from a place called Saddle Ranch in LA. It's a real famous, like, kind of like saloon bull ride and stuff. And we were staying across the street at a hotel called The Standard, and we went there right before last call, and we were already, like, had been partying crazy, and we all went in, and there wasn't enough room at our booth, so I just stood up like this.
Everyone else was sitting down.
And I just stood up, and I got, like, all of a sudden, like, really dizzy. and like everyone was talking, and I just kind of went over.
No, you have to
no
go
idea.
from like an actual third person perspective. So we're all just sitting there talking. This big like 7-foot security guard comes over. Y'all gotta leave.
You guys gotta leave.
And we're like, why? And it was like,
What
he
did we do?
threw
We're
up.
hungry.
He was just
We're like, no, he didn't throw
was
up.
just
And we're like,
silently
oh.
standing up in the middle of a restaurant and just went.
He tends
All
to.
over.
He
And then
doesn't.
you went back into the conversation.
Yeah.
When
We had no idea.
Crazy party nights when he throws up, he doesn't do the like. This happens all the time. It's. I'm like, no, bend the toilet, wastebasket, something.
So yeah. But for me, it was at Saddle Ranch in LA. Shout out to Saddle Ranch.
Just out in public at the restaurant, at the table. Just gross. All right, we're
Sorry.
wrapping up. My crazy girlfriend, thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.